There are two undeniable truths that you need to know if you're considering bringing a medical malpractice lawsuit in the state of New York. Would you like to know what they are? Come join me for a walk around the neighborhood as I share with you exactly what they are. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski, a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. The first undeniable truth is that your case will take longer than you expect it to. That's number one. Number two, the value of your injuries, your perceived value of what your injuries are worth, I guarantee you are going to be different than the actual value of what you believe your injuries are worth. Let me tell you what this is all about. You have now lived with your injuries for a number of weeks or months or maybe even years. And now there comes a point where you decide, you know what? You have to explore whether or not you have a valid medical malpractice case. And you find the best attorney that you can find. And now your attorney is all excited about the facts of your case. He has your records reviewed by a medical expert who confirms that your doctor was careless and caused you significant harm and injury. All right, so now you're so excited and you want to know, okay, how long is this going to take? And your attorney gives you some vague answer that says, well, it could take a couple of months, it could take a couple of years, it all depends. Now that's a non-answer, but it's a typical non-answer from an attorney. Now, why is that? There's so many variables that go into answering that question accurately. And there is no possible way that any attorney, doesn't matter how great they are, doesn't matter what type of experience they've had, doesn't matter what type of results they've achieved in the past, there is no possible way that any experienced attorney can tell you with any degree of certainty how long your case will take. Now, why is that? Because there are many delays that are associated with these types of cases. After obtaining all of your medical records, which can take many, many months, and then having your records reviewed by a medical expert, which will take another few months. Now, if your attorney confirms through your expert that you have a valid case, and you actually go forward and start a case on your behalf, guess what? The people whom you have sued now are starting at point zero, meaning that they know nothing about your case. You have now lived with your injuries, you've repeated them in your mind over and over again, and now you know exactly what's gone on, but the people whom you have sued don't know anything about your case yet. Now, in order for them to learn about your case, they have to get all of your medical records, they have to do their own expert evaluation. Just like it took us many months to obtain your records and get experts to review it, the defense has to do the same exact thing. So that will take a considerable amount of time. Once your case has started in the legal system, well, guess what? Now it takes many months in order to set up a schedule, a scheduling conference. And now we set up a schedule about when things are going to take place. Now we have to schedule your pretrial question and answer session known as a deposition. And if you are married, they will want to question your spouse as well. Then we have to schedule the various doctors and hospital staff that were involved in your care and treatment. And that takes a great deal of time as well. And there are instances where not everybody is on the same page about being available on the scheduled date and time, which means things get pushed back. There may be other delays associated with exchanging of certain documents. We may request certain rules and regulations from the hospital. The hospital may say, hey, you guys are not entitled to this. Now we may have a fight on our hands about a side issue concerning rules and regulations that now we have to approach the court, or we may have to make a formal written request to the judge to take action based upon the fact that the defense does not want to provide us with certain documents. That can also delay matters. So don't think for a second that just because you know you have a great case, and you know you have a valid case, and you know that something was done wrong to cause you terrible harm and injury, that means that the defense is going to throw their hands up immediately and say, you know what? It's true. We did something wrong. Okay, how much do you need to settle this case? And start negotiating right away. That rarely, if ever, happens. It's the first big disappointment you're going to experience when you realize that your case is taking much longer than you expected and much longer than your attorney told you about. Now, the second thing that I mentioned is that you believe that your injuries are very significant. And now you're unable to do many different things that you were able to do before. We're talking about damages. What are your limitations? What are the things that you can no longer do or do with difficulty that you were able to do before? And you believe that your injuries have a particular value. Let's say you believe your injuries are worth $5 million. And you ask your attorney at the very beginning of your case, okay, now you've heard the details of my case. What's my case worth? And your attorney will, in all likelihood, if they've been doing this for any period of time, tell you that it is impossible to give you an accurate answer to that question, at least at the very beginning. Why is that? It's because you are likely still undergoing medical care and treatment. It's because you will need additional care and treatment. You might need additional surgery, additional therapy. There might be improvements over the course of time. Your injuries might get better over time, as opposed to knowing at the very outset that your injuries are permanent. Let's say you are totally paralyzed and there's no chance whatsoever of you getting your feeling back or getting movement in your arms or legs. And the reason why you believe that your injuries are worth $5 million is because you know a friend or somebody in the neighborhood who had a similar injury, and even though it happened from a car accident, they were able to get $5 million to settle their case, and you believe that your injuries are similar, so therefore you think your case is worth $5 million. The reality is that your perception of what your injuries are going to be different. Now, they could be more. The value of your injuries might be significantly more than what you perceive them to be. On the other hand, they could be significantly less. And the only real way to know with certainty as to the true value of your injuries is for your attorney to gather all of your medical records, to speak with your treating doctors, to see how your injuries have improved or stayed the same or gotten worse over time. And now, as all discovery is completed, and now he has a better picture of understanding of exactly what happened and what limitations and restrictions you have day to day, now he can begin to formulate a true understanding of exactly what your injuries are worth, and then do research to determine what similar cases have settled for, and do research to determine what similar cases have reached a verdict, and do research to see what appellate courts have upheld on appeal after a verdict. That's critically important, and at that point, as you get closer to trial, now your attorney can have an educated conversation with you about the real value of your injuries. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to open your eyes and help you understand how these types of cases work in the state of New York. You know, I realize you're likely watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you have not yet started a lawsuit, but are thinking of doing so and still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.